Hey, Kyle in Colorado, Matthew here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, and with the help of my GoPro camera, I'm going to show you how I cut prescription lenses for your Oakley carbon plate. Of course, how do you open this thing? Hang on. One side, there it is, the side that hadn't been taped. Got the brand new side over here. Of course, you're so far into Colorado, you are near Utah. Use guises in Utah's. Okay, hang on. I'll get it. I didn't realize that was going to be... This is tougher than it looks. Okay, this... Look, still even wrapped up for sanitized for your protection. This is your Oakley frame. And it's got two little slips on the temple to prevent the temples from rubbing together during shipping. Which isn't going to help because I'm going to bang it with this hammer right now just to see if it's working. No. Okay, so let me take all this stuff off. I'll put it back on there when I ship to you. Did I mention free shipping anywhere in the U.S.? But anyway, this is your Oakley frame with the carbon tech temples. Very nice, very long, very lightweight, and very strong. Just like you. No, okay, so I'm going to pop out the original demo lenses, and I'm going to put it into the tracing element of my edger. Wake this thing up, and of course, I can only be so funny tonight because I'm operating on very little sleep. I was so nervous about cutting this pair of glasses. No, okay, so everyone wants to know, how does the computer know what shape to cut? It comes to it in a dream, and it stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night. Now that little stylus pops up, goes around the right lens, and then goes around the left lens. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed in quality. You buy a genuine, authentic frame from me, of which Kyle did not, and you would receive free, clear, single vision lenses. So since he sent me his frame, I'm going to charge you for the lenses, and then I'm charging you for the transitions in the end. Transitions gray lenses and the Crizal anti-glare coating. Because I got to make a living. My wife needs a new pair of shoes. Yeah, that's right. Blame it on her. Okay, so your pupillary distance is 35 in both eyes. It automatically comes up to 32.5, so I'm going to keep hitting this plus sign until we get to 35. So let's go on down here and let's get your lenses prepped. So I actually had the opportunity to talk to Kyle for 24 minutes. Being an online sales guy, it's very rare that I get to interact with any of my patients, and it was really fun talking to Kyle. Played rugby at Northwest Missouri State. The Fighting Bearcats. And, I don't know how much fighting he did. Maybe some drinking, maybe some playing, some horsing around, and maybe occasionally some rugby and some classes. Okay, so your lenses are not marked right and left. I've got to figure that out. So I've got it set for, let me make sure everything's zeroed out. Yes, it is. I'm going to put it on minus 50. Put your lens in and rotate until and see if it ever comes in clearly. Maybe. I think that's the 250. Let me see. Yep, that's the left lens. We'll put it back. Let's put this one back in. Put it on minus 50. Rotate it. There we go. Now the sphere power comes in clearly. Check your astigmatism correction, of which you have plenty. Bountiful astigmatism. So much astigmatism. Why don't you share? So I'm going to put 3 dots on there. The third one is so hard to see. It's just not as long as it used to be. Just like mine. My attention span, that is. What else do you think I was talking about? Okay, let me put a better R on there than that. Back pedal. Okay, no, okay. I'm just punch silly. Now let's turn the axis wheel. That was 13, right? Let me just double check. 13, okay. Your left eye minus a quarter, minus 250 at 78. I will turn the axis wheel to 78. Put the power drum on minus a quarter, as they say somewhere in the world, just not here. You'll never hear me refer to it as a quarter. It is a quarter. Okay. Speaking of quarters, how is Colorado these days? What am I talking about? I have no idea. How would I know anything about that? Honey, I have no idea what I'm talking about. It came to me in a dream too. Okay, that is your left lens. All right, let's put that on there. Let's come back down here. And where were we at? Oh yeah, your lenses. Let's take one of them. Now, let's take your frame out so it didn't get in the way. This is a block, as I like to call them, Jenny from the Block, even though I've never seen one J-Lo movie. This needs to attach to your lens while it is cutting, so I need to put a double-sided adhesive sticker on there, of which I have already done. I'm going to pull the tape off of here, to show you the other side is sticky. Now there's a little silver button on the back. That is a magnet. That's what's going to hold it in place. Ta-da! And let's get your lens oriented in there just perfect. Where are those red dots? The reason why I put those dots on there, your lens has to be oriented in there just perfectly. It cannot rotate at all, or you're just not going to see as well, because most of your prescription is astigmatic. That means you squint. Okay, so that's lined up. I'm going to hit the button, and down comes the block onto your right lens. Let's do the same thing now for the left lens. Get everything lined up. It automatically mirrors the PD of the right, which is 35. I put that one dot in the center, and those other two are on the crossing meridian to make sure everything's lined up just perfectly. Let's go ahead and put a dot on that lens. Peel away the paper. Put the magnet in there, hit the button, down comes the block onto your left lens. So, the actual cutting wheel is over here on the far right. It's going to act like a heavy grit sandpaper to grind away your lens material. This wheel in the center with that channel, that little valley, that's what's going to put the bevel on your lens so it stays inside the bevel of your frame. So, where's the lens? Here it is. Ta-da! I'm going to go ahead and take your lens and put it into the chuck, or as I like to call it, the Charles, because I don't know the machine well enough to call it chuck. Yeah, I know. You think I'm going to come up with new jokes? Yeah, you got another thing coming. It's St. Patty's Day, and I need to be drinking NyQuil because of my allergies. Let's see, I'm not going to polish the lens. I'm not going to put a bevel on the front surface, only the back surface, and these are polycarbonate lenses. The door closes, the clamp shuts, and then the lens is going to be moved into place where it is going to be traced by two white styluses, measuring the shape of your lens as it goes around. Of course, doing it twice, measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly where to place the bevel so the lens fits inside the frame perfectly. Now, I had your lenses custom ground, and I got these as thin as they can by law in this country. So we'll see what the edge thickness looks like since you have higher than average amounts of astigmatism. And I know you brag to the ladies about that. Now in just a moment, your lens is going to drop down onto the cutting wheel and you will hear a grinding sound. You will also see glimmering light back there. That is water running in the background just to catch the optical sawdust. Polycarbonate cuts dry, where plastic and high-index plastic cuts wet. Your lenses are made out of polycarb. Polycarb is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. It is also virtually unbreakable, as well as being bulletproof up to 22 caliber. It has both UVA and UVB protection built into the lens. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin, where your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin. So you have permanent sunscreen for your eyes. Now, these are the lenses I should have put away today. You're seeing my mess. This is a lens without the anti-glare coating. You have the Crizal brand anti-glare. It does 3 things. It eliminates glare when driving at night, particularly driving at night in the rain for you, because you hate the glare of oncoming lights with your astigmatism. But also from street lights, stoplights, computer screens, overhead, fluorescent lights, just right. Now it's also an anti-reflective coating. So it eliminates flashes. You know, when someone's looking at you, they don't see their reflection in your glasses. Or if someone takes a picture, or if you take a selfie with a flash, you won't see the flash lit up in your lens. The third feature that I like, which is the practical side of the lens, we know you're going to look good in it, but the practical side is it comes with the hardest scratch coating in the business, because the Crizal brand anti-glare takes well over 24 hours to apply. It's a machine that costs well over $1 million, so they put the hardest scratch coating possible to protect their time and investment. Time I got plenty of, money not so much. Because it's free shipping anywhere in the US. I'm going to go broke doing that. By the way, when you buy a frame from me, you get free prescription lenses. Who came up with that idea? I need to rethink that thing. Not the best business model. Free lenses and free shipping? Although I am recycling the boxes. I can do that while we're talking. Hang on, let me pull the... These come from Silhouette. This is the box I will be shipping to you. One of these 3. I'm going to do that while that's cutting. But I do recycle here, so I encourage everyone else to recycle. Kyle, when you get these, You can either eat this box for extra fiber or put it in your recycling bin or ship something else. Like for instance, go buy another frame and ship it to me. How's that sound? Dun 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 dun. Silhouette or drill mount lenses. And I'll throw that away later. Okay, is it done? Is it done? Is it done? Is it done? Just a moment, we'll take the lens out. And what kind of screwdriver will I need? Anyone care to guess? A Phillips. That's right. Who has the correct answer? Let's take your lens out. Let's dry it off. Yes, I am using a brand new paper towel, but I will recycle this. Run my finger around, make sure there's no schwarf, which is optical sawdust. May the schwarf be with you. It would, but now I'm using my dirty thumbnail to scrape that off. Yes, I've been doing some gardening. It's that time of year. Have I loosened the screw yet? No, I haven't. Let me take my red handle Phillips screwdriver, of which there is only one in the world. Ignore all these ones you see on the counter here. This is the only one in the world. Alright, so I've loosened the screw. I'm going to tuck the lens in at the outside corner, hoping that screw wouldn't come out, because if I drop it, I'm going to have to get on my hands and knees to find it. Come on now, come on now. Alright, the screw is out. Let's see if this fits first time around. Why are you being so stubborn? That reminds me why I don't work with Oakleys. No, okay, because I'm a Ray-Ban man. In fact, my new license plate, I'm getting my vehicle inspected tomorrow. I have Wayfarer as my license plate. I'm thinking about getting a new one, something Ray-Ban related. Let's see. I'm going to tighten the screw down. Oh yeah, that fits perfect. Perfect. So that's good. Let's go ahead and start cutting your left lens. Put that into the chuck. Flip that over to L. Hit start. The clamp shuts. And again, your lens will be traced by the two white styluses going around. Make sure the lens is large enough to fit into the frame. And of course, measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly where to place the bevel so the lens fits best inside the frame. As we have such, no edge thickness whatsoever, even with your ginormous amounts of astigmatism correction, which I will now explain. Take that block off. Let's move back down here. Your prescription reads -50, -375. Is that even possible? At 013. Turn the axis wheel back to a 013. Known as 13 in some circles. Put it in over that red dot. And I am getting, lost without my flashlight, I am getting -50, which is exactly halfway between 0 and 1, which is where you would find port 50. Point 50. Now I'm check your astigmatism correction, and we're at 4 1/4. How did we get there? That's because the unit of measurement we use in the optical world is called a diopter. It starts at 0 and goes up in there in quarter increments, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1, so on. I'm not going up to 375. So you actually only need 2 steps of far-sighted correction for your right eye. But you need, hang on, let me think, 375, 15 additional steps of astigmatic correction. This first number makes everything the correct size. Astigmatism is what makes everything blurry. That's why 6s and 8s, the letters P and F, and pretty much every other letter in the alphabet looks blurry to you without your glasses on. So this first number makes everything the correct size. Astigmatism is what makes everything blurry. Think of astigmatism correction as the fine-tuned knob. So we're going to turn that knob to 13. A straight line is 0 to 180. So we're going to turn that knob just past 0 to 13. 90s in the middle, 180s all the way over here. Now your left eye, and so the reason why we end up with 4 1/4, do you remember high school algebra? Do you remember college algebra, Kyle? No, of course you don't. But you know today's terms, if someone had borrowed 50 cents and they didn't repay it and then they borrowed another 375, why would you let them do that if they never paid back the 50 cents? Anyway, if they had borrowed 50 cents and then another 375, they would owe you 4 1/4. Again, you'll never hear me say the word quata. That's just an illusion. Special effects, smoke and mirrors, that kind of thing. So, your left eye, you only need 1 step, the smallest amount of far-sighted correction possible, but you need an additional 10 steps of astigmatism correction. Now again, there is a stigma over the word astigmatism. It just means shape. Everyone stop freaking out when they hear that word. They think it's a disease. It's not. It's not an affliction. It fluctuates. It comes and goes. But we're going to turn that fine-tune knob almost to 90, and we're going to stop at 78. Now, the one cool thing about astigmatism, it gives you that natural Clint Eastwood squint. I know the ladies like that, but you just can't see if they're smiling back at you. So now with that correction on, you can. All right, let's take your left lens out. Come on out and play. I'm going to dry everything off. Use my thumbnail to run that around. Next time, remind me to get a clean thumbnail, would you? I didn't know I was going to be on live TV tonight. All right, where's your left lens? Oop, that's not the right screwdriver. What'd you do with the right screwdriver? Here it is. And by the way, did you know that this bag is also your cleaning cloth? And about once a month, just wash that at the kitchen sink with dish soap. Rinse it out and just let it air dry on a dish towel or a paper towel. The older it gets, the softer it gets, the better it cleans. Unlike me, the older it gets, the older I get, I certainly don't feel like cleaning. I think I can live with a mess when I get older. All right, so is that in there? Who knows? Let's try and tighten that screw and see what happens. I'm going to put your frame down on my moleskin. Hang on, who's texting me? Who's texting my wife? I better not answer that. I'm in trouble. All right, so let me tighten that screw down. Did I tell you she wants a new pair of shoes? Come on, Kyle, buy another frame and send it to me. You got your Oakleys. Isn't it time for you to wear some Ray-Bans? Or some Polos, or Gucci, Prada, Versace. Buy something from me. Buy a Michael Kors for your girlfriend. Okay, so let's see. Where am I at? 78. I got to turn that all the way to 78? Okay, I'll do it. There we are, 78. Put that in over the red dot. And I'm getting minus a quarter. Again, special effects. You'll never hear me say that word. I only speak proper English. And then we're at minus 275. Why? A quarter plus minus 250 gives us minus 275, one tick mark away from 3. One tick mark away from Lyme's disease. So your pupillary distance is 70. Can you see those red dots? I'm going to put the 0 on my PD stick against my thumb, and then when we hold it up to the left lens, can you see that? We're getting 70. You see that? You see that there? I'm going to go ahead and make sure that these are in standard alignment. Now, Kyle, when you get these in the mail, there's a small chance that they could be either too loose or too tight. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That is because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other. And because of that, that's why 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. Now, I'm part of that 80%, and I'll show you, but for now, I'll get this in standard alignment, known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I set it on the counter, press down, there is no wobble. Flip it, and when I say wobble, I'm part of that 80%. When I take mine off, they certainly wobble on the counter, but they sit level on me. Flip them over, no wobble. Make sure that each temple overlaps perfectly and the same amount of tension on each hinge, and there is. Now this is what your lenses look like clear. Let me just give them a little bit better cleaning with my double-fisted orange cleaning cloth I keep in my left pocket. So, nope, I still see a spot. I gotta clean better. Told you, the older I get, I just don't feel like cleaning. Now that's better. This is what they look like clear. The first time I'm gonna go ahead and activate them under my little bright light of UV. I'm gonna tuck them in there. Let go of my finger, let go of my finger. And as you will see, all transition lenses will turn dark on day 1. Give them 2 weeks of exposure to the sun, and they're going to continue to darken every day for the first 2 weeks until they reach their final setting. After that, they will work for years with maximum performance. The only time they will not work is when you're behind the windshield in a traditional car. Your windshield absorbs all the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays, so your dashboard doesn't crack from sitting in the sun. That's why they won't work in a car. Now, if you have a convertible or a motorcycle, they will darken, but it takes direct exposure to the sun for them to darken, and they will never do it indoors unless you're standing next to an open window. Now, they're also temperature sensitive. They'll get darker in colder weather than they will when it's 85 and 90 degrees and above. When it's 100 degrees outside, you're miserable, they're miserable, everyone's miserable. No one likes to work 100% when it's 100 degrees outside. So in just a moment, the light will turn off, and it did. So, this is what your lenses look like the first time they've been activated. Kyle, don't worry, they're going to continue to darken. Come on, we talked about that, don't you remember? So, that's that. If anyone has any questions about what I can or can't do, just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com. Kyle, I hope you enjoyed watching as I made prescription lenses with transitions and Crizal anti-glare for your Oakley 5079, the carbon plate, color 0255 light, and everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.